Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is July the 17th, 2019. Strong hand, be a unique beast, offended by selling, value your wealth in Bitcoin. Unconfiscatable. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Your home for Bitcoin insider information. No fancy sets or graphics. Authentic conviction. All right, everyone, check out all the links below. This Week in Bitcoin will be, of course, on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Baltimore time. That's East Coast time in the United States. I'm in Tel Aviv, Israel right now. Check out all the links below. Everything I talk about in this video is linked to below. Follow me on Twitter at TECHBALT. And you can watch all my old shows at disruptmeister.com. And I'd like to thank the person who sent me some Litecoin. Dude, I know who you are, man. Thank you very much for that contribution. I'm glad I could help. And also, all my crypto addresses are below if you ever want to send me crypto like that dude did. And also, if you're watching this live, type in Bitcoin Meister. If you want me to answer a question, you can do a super chat also. I'll answer the questions there. Also, you type in Bitcoin Meister and tell me how much your monthly gas and electric power bill is and where you are. I'm very interested in this type of information. And if someone actually does that, I will talk about it at the end of the show. And Marber, he says, you're the man, homie. Thank you again, Marber. Thank you very much, man. All right, so where else? I'm lost track here of where all these notes I have about crypto dividends. Oh, we're going to talk about MimbleWimblecoin for the last time before the final day of registration, which is the 19th. But we're going to get to that in a second. I wanted to clear up something from yesterday's show. And I mentioned some negative headlines that were in the mainstream media that were ripping on Libra. And that's what people pick up on. They read that and they're like, oh man, woe is me. Bad headlines, panic, that means sell Bitcoin. Just wanted to put that out there. That's why I read off those headlines, just to show you how the weak hands are affected by people blowing the Facebook thing out of proportion and then taking it out on Bitcoin. They get scared about Bitcoin because mainstream headlines, and there were some pretty bad headlines about Libra. Okay, it was to be expected. We're going to get some more of them in the next 24 hours from and I'm going to talk about the second day of the Libra hearings right now. And this is going to be it, guys. Again, I didn't watch it. I got the summaries. I'm going to tell you, because I'm not wasting my time with this nonsense, because I can tell you everything they're going to say. And guess what? At least one of the 4 victims got to get her piece of the pie in there today in terms of Libra and in terms of virtue signaling. So Bloomberg article, AOC just compared Facebook's Libra to company script. Okay, now what's this mean? She says, so one of the 4 little victims named, and again, she's very proud of being a victim. Some politicians, or most politicians, just love to jump on the victim bandwagon, okay, and just show the world how big of a victim they are, how they're going to stand up for all the victims, how bad these corporations are because they make everybody victims. But on this show, we stand up for the people who actually do things and are proud of success and want to change this world and want to create wealth and create new ways of thinking, create increase intelligence for everyone, increase knowledge. People who are proud of success. I'm proud of my success. I'm proud of this channel. I'm proud of Bitcoin. I'm proud of the people who've done well. The people who are victims, I can't stand talking about them. The only reason I talk about them is so you guys can see how backward they are and how you should not be like them. You shouldn't be an 80%er victim. You should be a 20%er with the positive mentality of moving forward and being a success and being a saver and deferring gratification. So Little Miss Victim said, Senorita Victim said, what did she say? Script was used by Appalachian coal corporations to control workers by controlling their money. It was called coal cash. Okay, so obviously you can see what she's doing here, comparing it to the mean, the coal companies, or the horrible coal companies who poisoned all their people who worked for them and controlled their lives and forced them to use coal script. It was used by sugar plantation bosses in Puerto Rico. Also, Facebook establishing its own currency and teaming up with eBay, Uber, and company to do so has alarming precedent. So again, she compares Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook to plantation owners and to coal miners and to all the exploited people. Again, so I mean, this was very predictable, and that's their line of thinking. How can we twist this to make it seem evil and something that creates a bunch of victims? So someone in this thread, and I linked to it below, there are some great replies. And one that really sums it all up: fortunately, unlike the currency you're in charge of administering, the Libra is entirely voluntary. Ho ho! Imagine that. Yes. So maybe it is a little bit like company script. Yeah, a company. It's creating its own currency, but it's not forcing anyone to use that currency. 2 billion people are on Facebook. They can give it away for free to all those 2 billion people. They don't have to use it. They don't have to bank in it. They don't have to do anything in it. Do they have do you think, AOC, that these people don't have self-control? They can't make up their own mind? Obviously, she doesn't think that. She thinks that people can be manipulated very easily, because she's manipulated people her entire life, through her good looks, through her charm, through scaring people. She's used to manipulating people. So I guess she thinks, well, Facebook will just manipulate everybody into using their currency, and people don't have free will. No, everyone's got free will. No one's got to use this Facebook currency. And guess what? This Facebook currency is an option out of the dollar. It gives people don't you think people should have options? They shouldn't. Should countries have monopoly? You're not a big fan of monopolies. Did you use the word monopoly today? Do you enjoy that the United States government has a monopoly on its citizens in terms of money? Or it did before Bitcoin and cryptocurrency came along? You'd like to scare people with coal miners and plantations. Let's talk. I know you don't like monopolies. You like to break up the companies. You like to stick the government's nose into private corporations' business. So how's it feel being done that private companies are sticking their noses into the government and saying, yep, you had this money thing going. Now we want to diversify. We want to diversify the money situation. Shouldn't you be cheering on Facebook? But they just want to diversify money instead of it being all controlled by you and your friends in government. Now it's private people can do it. Now, you see, so private entities creating their own projects, not a bad thing. Government doesn't have to create everything. Just saying there. I know some people think, you call yourself a socialist, so I bet you, if you're really a socialist, you think, yeah, the government should have its hand in there. The government can create anything. Yeah, okay. Let the government, here we go. You create your own currency called the dollar, and let Facebook create their own currency called the Libra. Compete, don't complain, and pound that like button. All right. So, but was AOC the worst of them? Well, how about this guy? Representative Sherman just said Libra could be worse than 9/11. All right. So yeah, there you go. There's taking it to the next level there in terms of fear mongering. Very nice. Very nice. And again, some people are going to fall for it, obviously, the 80%ers and such. But again, people, I'm cheering Facebook on. Compete. Don't complain. I know I don't have to get into Facebook coin. I got into Bitcoin. I'm going to stay in the Bitcoin. And the more the merrier. This is where the big boys play. And don't be a victim. Just move on. All right. And Brian says, I'm in the UK. I pay $180 a month in electricity in the winter and around 70 a month. And he's saying 70 pounds. So I can't translate that into dollars. But that was a good. I'll translate it to dollars in a second. So I'm just graduated from college, still living at home with my parents. So no gas and electric bill. Yes, that's a great way to save money. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Freebird lyrics by Leonard Skinner. Jay Turn. Thank you, Guy Bennett. All right. And Steel Horse said, Atlanta area summer electric is a $300 to $350 a month, gas $80 to $100 in the winter. Oh, wow. So, I mean, those are incredible numbers right there. I'm going to get to that in a second, though. I'm going to get to those numbers in a second. So thank you for sharing that, everyone. This is all going to make sense in a second. Actually, I'll answer that one later. So we talked about now. Let's see what a stop and decrypt said about this. Okay, so here's a positive. I'm going to leave you with a positive. Well, so not all of these congressmen and ladies, some of them have some, they're using their heads. Representative Patrick Henry, McHenry, sorry, the world that Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned and others are building is an unstoppable force. We should not attempt to deter this innovation. Oh, yes. And governments cannot stop this innovation. Strong hand, dude. And those that have tried already fail. Pound that like button. Yes, this is innovation. Don't try to stick your noses into it to try to stop innovation. Not cool. Not cool at all. Innovation is going to roll you over. Dude, where are you? I don't even know where this dude's from. Is he from South Carolina? Good job, dude. And again, I don't want to put any of these dudes on pedestals. They've all got their issues and stuff. But hey, at least one guy got it right today. And so what's this? Here, if you guys want a summary, you can go to the Masari board link. It says Libra hearings, all of the hot takes and useful insights from Facebook Libra's hearings in front of the U.S. regulators this week. Okay, so that's linked up below. Enough. Again, you all know my take on this. Let entities print money out of thin air and let the market decide. Keep on innovating, people. Keep on being in motion. Compete. Don't complain. Don't be a freaking victim. Stop glorifying victimhood. Glorify innovation. Dude, I don't get that mindset of, I mean, I guess when you're glorifying being a victim, you get a lot of attention. You got a lot of, I guess a lot of people like attention. This is the world of attention we live in. And everybody wants their piece, wants to be their 15 minutes of fame. Let me tell you, that's short-term thinking. If you innovate, if you freaking change this world, you're gonna be known forever. All right. That's long-term thinking. That's innovation is for the long-term thinkers. Being a victim and getting that quick little adrenaline hit, everyone sees your picture for 15 minutes. It's a short-term thing. So we could see who's going to be for the regulation and the shutting down of innovation in cryptocurrency, and who's going to be for Bitcoin and being patient, using it as a savings account. So I wanted to bring up, when we're obviously we're talking about Bitcoin and Libra will, again, it is going to be centralized. They're going to probably be able to confiscate your Libra at any time. And that's why you got to get into a real coin, a real cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, where if you control it on your Trezor, no one can take it away. It is truly unconfiscatable. And there are many benefits of controlling your private key. Obviously, the biggest one is that no one can take it, no one can steal from you. That's the biggest one. But another one is that you do get crypto dividends, okay? You get the forks, you get the airdrops, and a lot of people felt real comfortable with keeping their Bitcoin at Coinbase and for a while. And I want to remind everyone of the Bgold fork. And just to show you how all you people who kept your Bitcoin at Coinbase probably made Coinbase a lot wealthier. You just gave them like free money. And this is the difference between relying on a bank like Coinbase and relying on yourself. Because when Bgold came out, and because Coinbase still hasn't given people their Bgold, they still haven't given people their Bgold, but maybe Coinbase, maybe they sold all the Bgold. They could have sold that Bgold at 5% of a Bitcoin, 4% of a Bitcoin, 3%, 2%, 1%, 0.5% of a Bitcoin. What is Bgold worth now compared to a Bitcoin? It's less than 0.5% of a Bitcoin. So even if at some point Coinbase sold all their Bgold, which is really your Bgold, they could now buy it back for so much cheaper and give it back to everyone. And don't worry, they will one day buy back all their Bgold, maybe they still have it. In theory, if they were smart, they would have sold it by now and a long time ago. And that's not smart. It's not very. It's not the best thing to do. It's not a. It's not a moral thing to do to what they did here. Okay, it's morally, it's not right. Okay, morally, it's not right to sell someone else's coin and then buy it back much later and then give it to them when it's worth much less. But in terms of running a business, just strictly on math and not facts and not public relations, it is financially smart. Because again, there has been no blowback at all on Coinbase for this Bgold scandal. And it really should. No one ever sued them. No one, because half the people, or most of the people who keep their coin at Coinbase, they don't even know about crypto dividends. They have no clue that they're entitled to Bgold in theory, if they really control their own private key. But again, so this just again, this is a reminder. One day you guys are going to get your Bgold. And Bgold might be worth a lot less than it is now, even then. And Coinbase could have. I mean, if Coinbase sold that at like 2% of a Bitcoin, I mean, they made huge profits off this thing, off of you guys keeping your Bitcoin there. You did that for them if they did that. So that is a reminder. And so I'm going to jump to the MWC thing real fast because I want to talk about this FAANG company thing in a second. Obviously, on this channel, you get insider information. You guys heard about the MimbleWimblecoin crypto dividend before anybody, and the last day to register is the 19th. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I've talked about it enough. You don't need hand-holding from me anymore. If you got questions, you haven't done it yet, go to Chris. Now, part of the reason I'm not going to talk about it anymore is for my own benefit, because the registrations have really ramped up the last couple of days. Right before I went live yesterday, Chris sent me that 62,443 Bitcoin had been registered. No, 61,041 had been registered. And now, right before I go live today, 75,621 have been registered. So yeah, like in the last 24 hours, 14,000 have been registered, more Bitcoin. And so a lot of people have heard about this. That's 0.4% of all Bitcoin in existence has been registered for this crypto dividend. So it makes me happy that there are strong hand holders out there, 20%ers that somehow heard about this, maybe from my show, maybe just from going to forkdrop.io, maybe from just doing their own research, maybe because they are really smart people and truly understand that if you hold Bitcoin, you got to know when you're going to get your interest payment. You got to know when you're going to get your crypto dividend. And you can't just be passive some of the times. You just can't know it. You got to register. And in the last few days, or the last 24 hours, it is really, because I predicted there'd only be 60,000 Bitcoin registered, okay? And now we've got, less than 48 hours to go, and 75,621. So for every Bitcoin you register, you're going to get at most like 80 MWC. And the more people who register, the less you get. So thus, I'm not speaking about it anymore until after registration ends. And that I will talk about it more on Sunday. I guess I'll get the final numbers from Chris, how many people registered. But yeah, there are a lot of people that realize what this is all about, that holding Bitcoin has incredible benefits, that you get crypto dividends for holding it, and who knows what you will be able to turn your MWC into. And clearly there are many people, or there are entities and individuals out there that hold 0.4% of all the Bitcoin in existence that are very interested in this, in what's in the whole concept of crypto dividends, and in this specific MimbleWimblecoin crypto dividend that you get insider information here. Pound that like button. You heard about it here first. So yesterday I mentioned FAANG, and some of you might say, well, you're saying the same thing you said yesterday. I just want to stress this because I was like thinking it out in my head yesterday. These FAANG companies, once Facebook gets this thing out there, Facebook's coin, Libra, will be listed on Coinmarketcap. It will take away from the Bitcoin dominance. And then the other FAANG coins, they know that 80%ers are going to get into their coin if it is highly ranked on Coinmarketcap. They know Coinmarketcap is a way for them to market themselves. So they are going to get their numbers. Once Google or Amazon comes up with their coin, they're going to finagle the numbers in terms of, the basket of currency they use to value their coin and how many coins they issue, so that their coin they're going to shoot for number one on Coinmarketcap. So you got to get ready for in the future for one of these coins that is a centralized coin created by a huge corporation like Google or Amazon to be number one on Coinmarketcap. Okay, get ready, or at least a bunch of them to be in the top 10. And what this is going to do, who's this going to hurt the most? Because everyone will still know that Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin and that the other coins are centralized and totally different, et cetera, and that this whole, the value, the market capitalization really is not a legitimate measurement. But it's going to hurt those second-tier altcoins that dreamed of getting into the top 15 and the top 10 and that relied on being in the top 10 and the top 15 just to get 80%ers to buy them. And just to get, once second tiers drop out of the top 20, top 15, because of all these FAANG companies being taking their place, well, they're not going to be included in portfolios as much because there's going to be all these companies in the future that manage people's crypto portfolios and decide that, I got to have a certain allotment. I have to have 3% of the portfolio in the number 12 crypto. And well, if your coin isn't the number 12 anymore, it's not going to be. It's going to have that much less allotment in all these these ridiculous portfolios that are out there. So keep an eye on that for the future. We're going to have to deal with this. This is where the big boys play. Some of you are going to say, it's unfair. They're going to be able to manipulate their numbers, and it's not real cryptos. Well, guess what? The seal has already been broken. Ripple already set the trend. They're not a real crypto. They're centralized. They print. They made sure they got high on CoinMarketCap for marketing purposes. They set the trend. Now these other companies, which are much more powerful than Ripple, will follow the lead of Ripple and get boosted up there and manipulate their numbers. So you just got to deal with it. This is where the big boys play. You can't lose your Bitcoin understanding and your Bitcoin basics just because of CoinMarketCap rankings. If that kind of thing scares you, you got quite a weak hand. All right, Marber says, what do you say to people who are worried about using Bitcoin during a power outage? Is hard currency always going to be necessary in your opinion? No, wait for the power to get back on. No, it's you can. If worst comes to worst, you give someone your private key. There's ways of. Matt Odell has tweeted about this. There's all sorts of companies working around. There's the satellite. There's the the Gotenga thing, the mesh network that gets you around power outages and stuff. It's a minor worry. Do you really need to send? When is someone going to really need to send their Bitcoin? Like right now? It's got to be done now. It's not that time sensitive right now. In the future there might be reasons why it'll be a pain in the butt when the power goes off. But it's a pain in the butt when the power goes off and you're at a bar and you can't pay with your credit card. You pay with cash at that point. So is hard currency Bitcoin is hard currency always going to be necessary? You know what I mean? I think it's always good to have bills, but lots of countries don't want that to exist anymore. So will it always be necessary? No, it won't always be necessary. It's Bitcoin's all you need. So it won't be in this. If you're into Bitcoin, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And again, if you really need something, like there was a time at my barbershop or whatever, I forgot and he said, well, just leave your shoe here. And then you leave your shoe here. I know you'll come back and you'll give me cash with it. You can always barter. You can give someone something, your shoes. So no, hard currency it's not always going to be necessary. You can always barter with something of value. And yeah. All right. So I'm just reading some other questions here. All right. So here is a awesome article by Nick Baccia, who I've had on the show before, guy out of California, real smart dude. I wrote a Bitcoin explainer without using any of the following words: blockchain, cryptocurrency, mining, decentralized, fiat, inflation. It's time the world realized that Bitcoin is a human right. So this is a very good article to give to beginners, or he says pre-coiners, people who are, I guess, interested and will eventually become Bitcoiners. And once they understand. So one thing that he said, my favorite part is he said, Bitcoin is a land grab. As more people move from the world of British pounds, Japanese yen, and US dollars to the Bitcoin world, Bitcoin land will only get more expensive and harder to find. Bitcoin's price has risen over the long term because people are treating Bitcoin like prime real estate. There is no single gatekeeper in the Bitcoin world, making every human being a potential property owner. Ownership will become more difficult and expensive as Bitcoin world gets more crowded. So that is a really awesome way of looking at it. Anyone can buy property in the Bitcoin world. There's no gatekeeper that's stopping you, but there's less and less property available. It's becoming more crowded. It's becoming more exclusive. It's becoming more like Midtown Manhattan. So I don't see why any logical person would try to flip this thing and pray to get back in later. Why would you give up on something that's so scarce? This is, I mean, in the wild, I mean, did they give up their land? And I mean, yeah, sure. There were people in the times of the land grabs out west. You know, when you're buying land outside of Los Angeles, there were some people that weren't long-term thinkers. They're like, yeah, man, I want to trade this in for some whiskey now. And don't worry, I'll be able to get back the land soon. So they got their whiskey, they got drunk, they had their fun, and then they never got their land. And again, well, I don't need the land. It'll go back down in value. It's going to go back in value. It's going to go down in value. And then, 150 years later, their ancestors are complaining, saying it was so unfair. Those people got to buy land before my father got to buy land, and I have no land now, but that dude owns property in Beverly Hills or wherever he owns property, and they've owned it for 150 years. They should force, AOC should force them to give up their land so I can have your land. No, dude, your ancestor gave up that land for whiskey. I mean, but today in Bitcoin, we have that going on. All these people who value their wealth in fiat, they're like, yeah, I'm going to sell that for fiat, going to drink it up, going to party it up, going to get my Ferrari and my Lambo, and then I'm going to buy in later because, it's just prime real estate. It's just the land grab opportunity of the freaking millennium. I can just flip in and flip out, and it's really easily. Yeah, that mindset's going to do you a lot of good. But anyway, personal responsibility is new counterculture. You could be that person. You could have fun with your whiskey. I'm going to have fun with my Bitcoin and my crypto dividends because it is an interest-bearing asset. Pound that like button. All right. Calens Jeravihan said, never. Never, I hate Bitcoin Meister. Well, I guess you never hate the Bitcoin Meister. Don't hate on the Bitcoin. I mean, you can hate on the Bitcoin Meister if you want to, but never have you hate on the Bitcoin Meister? I don't know. Never, I hate. Oh, never, I hate. Don't hate. Yeah, hate is wasteful. It's wasteful. It gets you down into a negative area. But, sometimes you do get angry, but don't waste time on hate. That's a good thing. Someone said, I love Bitcoin Meister. And then I just lost it. I love Theris of Men. I love Bitcoin Meister. Funny as heck. I don't care if he's gay. The man is a gem. Dude, I'm not gay. I pounded a lot of ladies in my day. Pound that like button. Yeah, if you stalk me on Facebook, you can see. But anyway, no, I don't value my wealth in women anymore. I value it in Bitcoin. There's much more to life than women. As I've said, if you watch my Saturday show, you'll get some interesting stories. But that's the thing. You get a lot of women and stuff in your day. You're a handsome man. It all ends up just being a story that you tell in the future. I can tell you those stories. What are they now? They were just adrenaline hits and stuff, dude. I mean, what's it matter? It's just a story. I can tell what I'm going to tell my nephew that story and we can laugh and I can say, oh, I was a big man and everything. Or I can give my nephew $1 million worth of Bitcoin. What's you see the difference. You see the difference. But you can decide what you want to. But we do have some gay guys here in the chat. There's some awesome gay Bitcoiners out there in Seattle and San Francisco. So yeah, dude, maybe you're a fan of the gay dudes. So yeah, value your wealth in Bitcoin, not in ladies. It is tempting, dudes. It is tempting. And whatever. Have your fun. but don't get carried away, because again, if you get carried away valuing your wealth and ladies, you're going to end up with nothing, dude. I mean, you gotta build up your fortune eventually. All right. And the best part is, if you are a dude, if you're not one of those Chad dudes or Tyrone, and again, everybody's looks fade over time, dude, your Bitcoin doesn't fade over time. And there's plenty of them, plenty of those ladies that you can buy when you're, just look at fake Toshi and billionaire Calvin. I mean, they get themselves plenty of ladies, and they're in physical shape. They're not in good physical shape at all, but they're well, one of them's wealthy and one of them pretends to be wealthy. So, I mean, again, there's different ways of looking at this type of thing. So, okay. So, why would anyone? Okay, moving on. Speaking of BSV, we have been researching this is from Coinmetrics. We have been researching the on-chain activity of Bitcoin, Bcash, and BSV as part of an upcoming report on Bitcoin forks. As part of that research, we found that over 94% of the daily BSV transactions as of July 14th are being generated by a weather app. All right, so the BSV people, they're saying that they're the real Bitcoin, but 94% of what's going on over there deals with a weather app. I mean, be the weather app coin. I mean, maybe that's innovative. Good for them. You guys are the weather app coin, and you go down. Your leaders go down to the Caribbean and party it up with the valuing their wealth in questionably aged feminine products. All right. I'm assuming those are all women in those pictures. That guy posts on his Twitter feed. Calvin, billionaire Calvin, likes to post pictures on his Twitter feed of what appears to be females, and I'll just assume they are females of a legal age, hopefully. Let's see. Steel Horse says, since we have our coins lined up for MWC, are there any recent forks or airdrops we should claim before it's time to move? No, there's none that rely on that type of claiming mechanism where you have to keep it at a play. You see, their snapshot hasn't happened yet. All the other ones snapshots have happened, so you can move it. Like the Serenium one, that one snapshot already had, so you can move. So based on everything that's already come out, the snapshots have already happened. Now, what's his face? Ego Heart keeps on saying he's going to have. I don't know if he keeps on saying it because I don't watch the show, but people have been mentioning it to me, so maybe he's forgotten about it now. But B-Hex, supposedly he's going to have his Egocoin B-Hex come out, and then there'll be a snapshot date for that, and you'll want to have your coins at a place for that snapshot date. But I mean, who knows when that's going to happen. So yeah, do what you're going to do with your coins now. There's no pending snapshot after this snapshot happens on the 19th. McAfee I can't say the word. He says Bitcoin Meister is the king. Dude, you use a dirty word to describe McAfee, but I'm glad you have no respect for him, because that man deserves no respect. I can't believe there are people that still consider his opinion logical. Someone the other day said, McAfee predicts $100,000 for Bitcoin. I mean, oh my God, so embarrassing. You're putting that out there as a respectable opinion that McAfee makes a prediction about Bitcoin? I mean, he was smart once. He created some nice software a long time ago. What's he done since then? Just because he created some nice software in the 90s doesn't mean he can make logical predictions when it comes to Bitcoin, especially since he took all sorts of money for pumping all sorts of ridiculous ICOs and altcoins. But 80%ers are going to do what they're going to do. They have no memories whatsoever. Dude, McAfee, you know what? At least you have a memory, dude. At least you comprehend the situation with that dude. I mean, again, I don't get it. And it's not my job to save everybody from people like McAfee. It's just the way it is. You got personal responsibility is a new counterculture, guys. You got to save yourselves from those type of people, or you can take the advice of McAfee and them and just see where it takes you. All right. So he says, is okay. That we Dinga says, is Eugene Levy nephew? Is Eugene Levy my nephew? No. I don't know what that means. Are you saying, is my nephew Jewish? Maybe. Of course. All the offspring of my siblings are Jewish. Oh, it would be horrifying if otherwise. And of my first cousins, all of their offspring are Jewish. I would be sickened otherwise. If it was any difference, I would be very sick. I would be very ill. I would not want to be associated with that sibling or cousin in the same manner I previously was. Anyway. So Bitcoin Brian says, do you know why I don't often comment on your shows? It's because I'm too busy listening to you and learning to watch rubbish in the chat that goes on most of the time. Good, Brian. I'm glad. Brian, I know you, of all people. You got the listening comprehension, dude. All right. Marber says, pound those love buttons. Okay, you can pound those love buttons. Dude. So Steelhorse says, I remember when the word gay meant happy. I don't remember that. You must be older than I am, Steelhorse. I don't remember when it just meant happy. For all the time that I've been alive, gay is also meant being a homosexual. But wow, a lot of people are talking about gay. Interesting that's a look at this guy. So yeah, we got a lot of guys talking about, again, people are talking about Jews, blacks, and gays, and that type of you can talk about them, but I mean, you cause your own problems, not the Jews, the blacks, and the gays. You take some personal responsibility there. It's not, you control your own destiny, not the Jews or the blacks or the gays. Just, I see there's a lot of people go, and I don't know. Do what you're going to do in the chat. The chat can be a cesspool sometimes. We all know that. That's just the way it is. All right. So we talked about Miami guys yesterday. And here. Okay. Finally, Tone Bay's tweet here. I just want to. Oh, no. So you guys are saying what your electric bills and stuff for monthly. So let's just say some of you dudes, they pay $200 a month. $200 a month. So that's $2,400 a year. $2,400 a year. I don't pay anything. So there's some of you, they're like, well, how do you get to go on these vacations? Well, they're $2,400 a year, right there. I don't pay any electric or power bills. I don't own a house. See, that's part of the thing. You guys are all stuck in this mentality. Well, I've got to have a permanent place to live. But there's so many expenses that are involved with that. I mean, we could go into, so that's just one little thing. That's one little expense. And some of you said $300 or whatever it is. So that's $3,600 a month that I don't pay. That is just so $3,600 a year, $3,600 a year that I don't pay. So again, this trip to Israel, this entire, 2.5 months in Israel is only going to, my total expenses are going to be like over $5,000. So, I mean, you're starting to understand how all this works. And I mentioned this on Saturday videos before, but I wanted to give a real life example there. Like some of you have expenses that I just don't have at all. I just don't have them. I don't own a phone. How much do you pay per month for your phone? What's that over a year? I mean, how much do you pay for insurance on your car? How much do you pay for gas on your car? How much are the monthly payments on your car? I don't own a car, so I don't have any of those expenses at all. So again, we're talking about, now we're into like tens of thousands of dollars for a year. And so that's how you get to travel around the whole world and go from place to place. It's not when you eliminate some gigantic expenses and reallocate it to a better usage of that money. I mean, you're living the good life, and that's what I'm doing, baby. You do not have to have a full-time house. You don't have to have an apartment on the side. You go from that is the modern world that we live in. These Airbnbs include you pay one price. That's it. Sure, I guess I'm paying the power. It's no limit on me how much AC I can use or how much time I can be on the internet or there's nothing, or how much food I can put in the fridge or anything. There's no limitations. It's just one set fee that I pay, and you can find good deals. You can tell what's a good Airbnb place, and that's how you live your life. And you travel light. You don't have to have a lot of stuff. You don't have to check in a lot of suitcases on the plane, pay a lot of money, find the best tickets, the cheapest tickets, go to the cheapest places. That's the lifestyle. That's when you don't work for anyone. When you're living in the Bitcoin overlay, that's the way. And so guess what? I don't have to sell any Bitcoin either. Don't. And I've said this many times. Never sold a Bitcoin for fiat ever. And just because I saved. What can I say? And I get money from the YouTube. Thanks. You know, you get some side hustles and stuff. That's what it isn't. Everyone's stuck in the mentality that, you know, I gotta make so much money in order to afford so many different things. Well, if you don't have to have so many different things, then you don't have to have so much money, and you get to save more. And you should save more in your newfangled savings account. So people have that's a little bit of a Saturday show issue. But another reason I bring this up is because Tone Bays has a funny tweet. He says, true story from yesterday. As I was explaining what Bitcoin is and why it's important. Him. So do you mind if I ask you how many Bitcoin you have? Me. I am sitting next to you on a $3 bus from city center to Prague airport. So obviously not enough. Now that's kind of funny. Now you can never have enough Bitcoin, first of all. I want to point that out. And I'm always trying to get more Bitcoin. Of course, I have goals in my head of how much Bitcoin I want to have. And I always, if I get that goal, then I set a new goal. But he says, he's trying to imply that, yeah, I don't have a lot of Bitcoin, or else I wouldn't be on a $3 bus. Guys, I've been on that same $3 bus. And if I go back to Prague, I'm going to be on that same $3 bus again. I don't go Uber and all that stuff unless I go on public transportation. I walk places. That's how you save money. That's how you get to have these experiences and travel all around. You figure out ways to cut down expenses. Instead of buying Ubers and all this stuff, I got into Bitcoin. I was traveling on $3 buses, just like Tone still played. There's no shame on traveling on that $3 bus from the subway to the airport. I remember doing it. I remember doing it well. Back then, that was only the second Bitcoin conference I was ever at, back in Prague in 2015. Oh, the world has changed a lot. I have a lot more Bitcoin, but I'm still taking public transportation, and that is success, baby. That's how you save. That's how you don't have to spend your freaking Bitcoin. And that's how you get to be in the Bitcoin overlay. You don't have to have a boss. You get to go around. But hey, man, if you want to take a cab everywhere, whatever, show off to the ladies that you got a nice car, well, then, yeah, go work for some corporation 9 to 5, pay the house mortgage, whatever. Everyone can go their own way. There are going to be more people doing it the traditional way than the way I'm doing it. And because of that, the dollar ain't going anywhere. Because there are plenty of people stuck in that credit card dollar system that want the big cars, that want to take the cabs, that value their wealth in the ladies. Let them do what they're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You guys get to choose what you're going to do. No one's forcing you to do anything. And that is the beautiful thing. And hey, if you learn, you learn. If you don't, you don't. Hopefully, you learn the easy way instead of learning the hard way. Pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the links below. Pound that like button. Bang that bell button. I will see you guys in the chat now. And remember, tune in tomorrow. New show here every day.